Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Shop Talk Park Slope. I am Nikki Thomas, licensed associate real estate broker with the Corcoran Group. And today we have the owner of Electric Beets with us, Cicely. Hi, Cicely. How are you?
Hi, Nikki. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Well, as I was actually saying kind of before we got the interview kind of kicked off, I'm really excited to have Electric Beets because from the moment that they put up their very vivid, just awesome looking signage, because whoever did your branding, they did a great
They're
job.
awesome. Great group. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
was
you.
very excited about them coming to the neighborhood. So speaking of which, why don't you tell us about Electric Beets and what it has to
Yeah.
offer? There's a little bit of a clue in the name.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a completely plant-based grab and go, and we offer prepared foods that have minimal oil and no refined sugar. We offer a variety of cuisines to choose from. And first and foremost, I started the business for health purposes. My family has a history of health issues, and I wanted to change that for myself. And I love to eat. So selfishly, I designed around a store of the things that I love to eat, and I made them healthy. So that's what we offer here.
I love that it's grab and go. I can probably intuit why you decide on that concept, but let's actually hear it in your words. Why did you decide on grab and go?
Yeah,
It's like a sit down.
absolutely. Yeah, I did a lot of thinking during the pandemic. And it was important to me to differentiate Electric Beets from a lot of the options that are available right now. And the main thing that I wanted to offer was convenience. I wanted to offer healthy, delicious food quickly. And we all know New York, it's all about convenience.
Mm-hmm.
But having something healthy at your fingertips is unusual,
Yes.
healthy and delicious. And I wanted to change that. There have been any number of fast food chains that you can think of that are not good for you, that are super easy to get food from. And I felt like it was time to respond to that and provide something that was nutritious and delicious.
Yeah, I think kind of going back to when you were talking, giving the general description of the business, the minimal oil I thought was really, really interesting and important because
Mhm.
so often when you do go somewhere that has like any sort of plant-based options, sometimes they kind of mess up the healthy factor with all the oil. And so even though it might be tasty, it's kind of like, eh.
It's
You
it's
know?
it's a little challenging because I think, and not to throw shade on any of the other businesses that are out there, but I think a lot of times in the plant-based industry has really been coming into its own, but there's been a lot of this want to replicate an omnivorous diet, and it's not necessarily the best things in an omnivorous diet. It is, the French fries, the burgers, the chicken and waffles, and the things that maybe aren't the best for us, because no one can eat that food every single day and be feeling 100% your best. And so I really wanted to try to flip it on its head. And, a lot of people have actually asked me the question about why minimal oil. And the main reason for that is because when you're eating a plant-based diet, you are getting so many nuts and seeds in your diet. And it's such a great natural way to be getting those natural fats. And there's really no need to add additional fats to that. And I just love, one of the main comments that I hear is that people feel fulfilled and they feel clean after they've eaten the food here, which is such an incredible compliment. And they don't feel sluggish, and they don't feel like they've made a mistake with the choices that they made. And that is just like music to my ears.
Yeah, I mean, because especially I feel like I know that a lot of people put emphasis on dinner and stuff, but
Mhm.
I mean, lunch is really like that meal that powers you through the rest of the day. So if you don't get enough to eat, or you
Right.
eat something that's too heavy, it just really can impact the trajectory of your day. So if it's too
Exactly.
healthy, not too heavy, not so great, but if it's like
Right.
like you said, if it's fulfilling, it tastes good, but you don't feel so weighed down, like that could give you the energy boost that you need to kind of power through the rest of your day. So, think that
Exactly.
really, I think we kind of need to give more attention to lunch, but seriously,
Right.
so we've been talking about, kind of, again, it's a plant-based restaurant. So I'm curious, do you get a mix of clientele kind of coming in and out? Is it mostly folks who are eating plant-based themselves, or do you find that that you have a lot of clients who are just like, you know what? I just really want more vegetables today, or I'm just trying to get more vegetables in my diet. Like, do you feel like you get a mix of clientele in the shop?
So a little bit about my background. I'm coming from architecture and design strategy. And I did a ton of research before I decided to open this. And you can't make a business go on 7% of the population. It's just not going to happen. As much as I love the vegans and vegetarians, my target market is humans. There's no way, because everybody needs to eat more vegetables. Everybody, even the vegans and vegetarians need to eat more vegetables. Everybody does. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to find a way to target everyone and make vegetables sexy again, and have people understand that you can do more than steam broccoli. You can do more than, overcook, certain vegetables. Everybody has vegetable trauma, I think, from when they were kids. And it's like this, it's relearning how amazing and wonderful and flavorful vegetables can be. That was my goal in being able to have this. And so, yeah, definitely targeting humans. But the unexpected thing that happened, and what was really, really, really cool about all of this, I never expected a population that was going to show up with dietary restrictions and allergies. And all the people that are really struggling with recovery from cancer, they're going through cancer treatments right now. They have IBD, they have gout, they've been recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. They have all these different things that people have, real world concerns that are affecting people on a daily basis. Mothers that have recently found out that their infants are lactose intolerant, and they personally cannot consume milk products anymore because their infant that they're breastfeeding is lactose intolerant and they have an allergy to it. And so it's really, really cool to see everybody coming in, and it's almost like it's a whole population that I hadn't counted on. And I did a really extensive amount of research on this, and it is just it's so cool to be able to see people that say, I can't eat out anywhere else, because you don't know what's in the food, you don't know what to expect. And typically, yes, people are being more conscious of allergies, but they don't get to have the same experience as their friends that can just order off the menu without any issues. And so that's really, really been a fantastic benefit of sort of planning on the population, but having this beautiful story unfold that's associated with people that that have restrictions and allergies. And it's such a cool thing to be able to be providing food and feel they're so grateful. And it's awesome. So awesome.
Yeah. It's like you came in with one plan. And even though that plan is still, I imagine, a number of ways going to plan, you ended up fulfilling a niche that you didn't realize
exactly
needed to be filled, that actually had a need. That's like, no, that's really awesome. That's great when businesses can surprise us in ways that, didn't expect, because sometimes the surprises are bad.
yeah. It's been, there have been plenty of those, but yes, this is definitely a fun one for sure. Absolutely.
For sure. So one of the things I noticed when I was reading up more about you is that you really, and again, I guess kind of now as we're proceeding through this interview, not surprisingly, pay a lot of attention to your suppliers. There's a lot of intentionality around that. And I just kind of love for you to speak to folks more about what was there.
Oh, definitely. So I am 50 years old. I started this business.
Wait, girl, what?
A year ago. Yeah, I'm 50 years old, and this is my second life. I started my whole career over again, and I left corporate America to do this, and I am an entrepreneur through and through. I had my own business many, many moons ago, and it failed miserably. And it was, one of the most embarrassing and hardest things in my life to have to walk away from a business. And one of the things that is extremely important to me is celebrating other women-owned businesses. And it's not just women-owned businesses, it's all small business. But I happen to tune into several women-owned small businesses to be a part of what the experience here is at Electric Beets. And I, through whatever connections the universe was sending my way, I had this beautiful introduction to a lovely woman named Talia, who owns a company called 16 Mill, and she and her husband actually own the business. They are fantastic. I have a beautiful little baby named Miles, or Leo, excuse me. Miles is her husband. And wonderful, wonderful people. And so she is a gluten-free baker that is safe for celiac. And she also is refined sugar-free. So it just blended perfectly with our concept. Yeah. And then I also have an amazing woman who owns a peanut butter company called One Trick Pony. And she she's phenomenal. And really, really amazing businesswoman. The gentleman who passed by earlier, he works for a woman who owns a composting company in New York, and she is our compost dealer. It's not the right word, but I've got a gal for compost, and she's amazing. And I also have greeting cards in the shop too, just because I always think food. This is a wonderful place to pick up food for if you're headed over to a friend's house, or you've been asked last minute to produce something to go over to a friend's house, or you need something. It's a great place to have greeting cards. So we have a huge, big lineup of greeting cards that are really funny. And that's also a woman-owned company out of Brooklyn as well. So yeah, it's extremely intentional. I love supporting other small businesses. I actually have mushroom tinctures too that are from a woman-owned business called Go Mushrooms. Teas. I have the organic tea company. She's in Beacon now. She used to be in Brooklyn, but she Miss Tea, amazing organic teas.
Them, yes,
I really phenomenal.
Yes, I do. I know they their favorite. They tend to almost always have a stall at the Bryant Park Winter Market. Yes. Yeah, that's how I found them years ago, and they have all sorts of really great blends. Like they do. And I am a tea aficionado, so. Yes. Revital
legit. That was a great choice. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I found amazing connections, and I'm very grateful to all have them here. So yeah.
Awesome. That is so great. So now one of the things I'm kind of curious about is, how did you decide on Park Slope? What made you pick? Was it that you always had your eye on the area, or are you already a local, or was it some more of the thing of like right space, right time?
Sure. So I moved to New York 11 years ago now. And the first neighborhood that I moved to was Park Slope. I fell in love with it. It's absolutely wonderful. It's such a great energy. The families, the mix of the population that lives here is just it's not just families. It's single people as well, which was fun. I don't have any children, and so it was just a nice balance. It felt really great. And but then I moved to Fort Greene, and now I live in Crown Heights, and I've moved, as New Yorkers do. And but I always reflected on Park Slope, and the reason why I reflected on it was because after eating plant-based for 10 years, I realized there's nothing really that's over here, or there wasn't for quite some time. There
Mhm.
are more places coming on in the neighborhood now, but for quite some time, it had really been a plant-based desert. Rents are tough.
Yeah.
I knew that, but I also knew that this would be a great incubator to find a place here, and I knew the population would support it. I knew that they would be enthusiastic about it, and so I searched. I searched for space for quite some time, and was able to identify a spot that I could. Given my background in design, it was something that was easy for me to envision and to find a space and transform it. So I'm grateful to have found a space, and it couldn't have turned out to be a better location. So I'm really thrilled with it.
Yeah, no, I think that your location is fabulous, just like right there on 7th, which is like a very, one of the key commercial corridors. And you're basically kind of in that, like almost that nexus between like kind of North Slope and Central Slope, just kind of right there. And it's just, yes, your location is did a good job there.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So I guess kind of like to wrap things up, speaking of kind of Park Slope, so far since you've been open, and actually remind me how long, so as of the date that we're doing this interview, like about how long have you been open now?
We celebrated our 1 year anniversary on November 2nd. So it was 1 year in November.
Huge milestone.
It is. It is.
That's
yeah.
a
Thank
really
you.
big deal. Congratulations. So,
Thank you very much.
So in that year, since you officially became part of the Park Slope community again, but this time as a business owner, what have you really enjoyed? What have you enjoyed about being part of this community?
I have been absolutely just amazed at the clientele and the kindness and the people who come in every day and ask me, what can we do to help you? What can we do to see you grow? What can we do to keep you here? And it is just, it just is so wonderful. It literally brings tears to my eyes every time because I hear it probably no less than 10 times a day. And it is just such an amazing, wonderful, kind group of people. And I love the fact that it's not just people from Park Slope who are here. There are people that are visiting from from Australia, from England, people that are searching out plant-based food now, which is really awesome. And they happen to be in Park Slope because it's so centrally located to the Botanic Gardens, to the museum, to Prospect Park, to all the different beautiful things that Brooklyn has to offer, just a stone's throw from Brooklyn Heights and the promenade and everything. It's just a wonderful location. And so it's really, like you were saying, just at a beautiful nexus to be located in amongst a population that's consistently here, but then also a population that visits and appreciates what it has to offer. So I'm just incredibly grateful for the beautiful families, the professionals, just everybody. It's really, really cool.
Oh, I'm glad that your first year has gone so well for you. The usual business ups and downs aside that I'm sure you also experienced. But thank you so much for taking time out of your clearly busy schedule. So can you give folks the address for Electric Beets as well as your Instagram handle?
Absolutely. Yes. So we are located at 158 7th Avenue, which is basically at the corner of 7th Avenue and Garfield Place. We are right next to Hungry Ghost, that is on the corner of 7th and Garfield. And then our neighbor to the south is Bar Venazzo. And we are, I guess, we're directly across the street from Pinkberry. Mm-hmm. Couldn't remember the name, but directly across the street from Pinkberry. And our Instagram is at electric_beets, BEETS. That's how you spell beets. And we'd love everybody to stop by. Thank you so much, Nikki, for doing this.
Absolutely. Like I said, I was very, very excited to finally connect with you because I just, like I said, I just hear your business is like, again, it's the sign conveys the energy, electric.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. It's multifaceted. It's uh, I believe that that plant-based food is electricity for your body. Our whole kitchen is electric. I always think that music and food go together, and so I have music playing constantly in here. So electric beats, kind of that vibe, and then the beats portion. I detested beets as a child, and so it was a way of coming full circle with the name. So yeah, it ended up being chosen for me, or the name chose me.
I love that. I love that. This is a great note to end the interview on. All right.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Cicely. All right.
Thank you.
All right, folks. I'm Nikki Thomas, licensed associate real estate broker with the Corcoran Group. This has been another edition of Shop Talk Park Slope, and I will see you folks next time. Bye.